What's good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a wings to go mukbang. Is football Sunday. Cowboys have a bye week, but I am still going to enjoy some wings. Again, my favorite food to have on Sunday. I might make this a regular thing. Who knows? I got two different types of wings from Wings to Go. My favorite from Wings to Go is called Barbicide. Q put me on to these. It is barbecue mixed with their hottest sauce, which is called Homicide, which they have like little flames. Barbicide is like 3, or I think it's like 2 or 3, but Homicide is like 5. So this is like a nice blend of some barbecue with your hottest sauce. Also got Caribbean jerk. I've never had Caribbean jerk from there, but I've had it from like Buffalo Wild Wings and other places. So I wanted to check out their Caribbean jerk, also one of my favorites. I got blue cheese here. Normally I get ranch when I go to Wingstop, but blue cheese is my go-to from anywhere except for Wingstop. I'm also going to be reviewing the Pet Sematary remake that came out earlier this year. That was requested by Jelena Lewis. Alright, so before we get into the movie, I'm just gonna dig into these wings. Hopefully I do not get any sauce on my sweatshirt, but I doubt I'll get that lucky. Let's see. Start off here with a flat. Stick with the Barbicide. One thing with Wings to Go that I have a small gripe with is they lather the regular sauce. They have a few dry rubs, but they lather their regular sauce on that wing. They just, and like sometimes it's just too much sauce. I don't want to be too nitpicky, but it's like when you bring it back home, you got all that loose sauce in the bag. But excellent wings. They fry them hard. They don't, there's no, it's not like a flabby wing, I guess you call it, but really good wings. Really good. Try one more, then we're gonna go to the jerk and we'll talk Pet Sematary. The barbecue just offsets that heat just enough where you can feel the heat, you can experience the heat, but you're also getting a wing that is packed with flavor. And that is just what I want. Alright, let me try a couple of these Caribbean jerk and then we're going to talk about the new Pet Sematary. Those are so good. So good. Let me get a drum. Man, I love me some good wings, as you can see. I just dig into them. So good. It is a nice rainy day here. I am loving it. Oh, by the way, I have a cherry Coke. My apologies. I should have said that. I always forget the drink. Always forget the drink. Cherry Coke. Listen, guys, one of these months, we're going to do a no soda challenge, but in the meantime, I am going to enjoy my soda. And with wings, I mean, come on. What else am I going to have with a wing? So the Pet Sematary remake came out earlier this year. It is directed by Kevin Kolsch and Dennis Widmyer, and stars John Lithgow, one of the great actors of all time. And it is a remake of the 1989 film of the same story. It's based off the Stephen King novel. So, it deals with a lot of supernatural stuff, being a Stephen King. So just keep that in mind if you're gonna watch the movie. Now, so the movie, it's hard not to compare it to the original. I'm trying to focus on, it's the same story, but I'm gonna try to focus on the remake, being that's what was requested by Jelena Lewis. So I want to focus on that, but I'm going to be making some comparisons to the original. So Pet Sematary is about a family who moves from the city out to the country. It sets that tone of, yeah, something is going to happen. You get that vibe right away. It sets that vibe immediately. So this family, the main characters I'm gonna focus on is the dad, Lewis, and the daughter, Ellie. There's other characters in the movie, but those are the two prominent ones. Their neighbor, Judd, is played by John Lithgow. He's a widower. He had lost his wife. And he goes over the story with Lewis about the pet cemetery that is in the woods behind where they live, where kids bury their dead pets, whether it be a rat, whether it be a cat, dog, whatever. So already I'm a little bit like, you know, animals dying just is like one of those things that just gets me. Now, beginning of the movie is basically, a lot of it is like, you know, it's a family, they're establishing their family, what they do as a family, but they have a curiosity with the pet cemetery. And Judd builds a relationship with Ellie, the daughter, and it talks about his wife with her. And I really like the relationship between those two. I thought it was very good. Now, it's hard to talk about this movie without giving anything away, so I'm going to be kind of vague in some spots. I'm not going to go too far into the movie. I'm kind of just going to give some basic plot points and then just go over my thoughts on it. Now, so a tragedy does occur within the movie. And that tragedy sets the tone for the rest of the film. So what the film is primarily dealing with is how we as human beings, how we deal with death, and more specifically, the death or loss of a loved one. And how we handle that. And the movie goes very deep in that, and does, in my opinion, a very good job. I believe the actor's name is Jason Clarke, who plays Lewis, the dad. I thought he did a really good job, and you know, he's an interesting character because he starts out very happy-go-lucky father. He's out there in the country with his family, and then he starts to kind of disintegrate after. Now, there's also a character in the movie that is reminding them and telling Lewis specifically to stay away from the Pet Sematary, to avoid it. But naturally, it's about those, like I said, we're dealing with how we deal with death and how we're processing everything, our grieving process. Now, there's a character named Zelda. She's probably the scariest character in the movie. Way scarier in the original. Now, so I do want to make some comparisons to the original. I can't help myself. It's one of those things. This one looks way more polished and looks like higher production value than the original. I love John Lithgow as Judd. I thought he was really good. He's explaining. He's there to explain the story and the history of the Pet Sematary. Why he still is there, I don't know. But I think a lot of people who watched the original when they were kids have an attachment to it, but I didn't watch it when I was a kid, so to me it looks like a Hallmark scary movie. And the guy who plays Judd in that, I'm just not really sold on him. I just don't. I don't get it. But I love Judd in this one, and yeah, he's just telling the history of the Pet Sematary to Lewis and trying to help him learn from his own mistakes. Listen, I know you're going through something right now. However, there's certain things you don't want to do. I know what you're feeling. It's, when something happens to you in the moment, like no matter what it is in life, like whenever there's a big moment in your life, whether you've lost a loved one to death, there's a breakup, you lose a friend, like, you move, stuff like anything where there's just like a big moment in your life, you kind of got to reel in your emotions. And that's what Judd is trying to tell Lewis. He's trying to tell him, listen, bring it back. It's going to be okay. But Lewis doesn't really listen. I don't want to give away the movie because it is an interesting concept. If you watch this with kids, this is one of those things like, because I know I'm not a parent myself yet, but having that conversation about death with your kids has to be one of the hardest conversations to have. And if you watch this movie with your kids, they're going to have questions. And a lot of times those things come up with animals because, animals don't live as long as us. So I think if you have a family pet, you lose the pet, kids gonna have questions, and this movie kind of deals with that and how not only parents but the siblings, the family as a whole deals with everything. I personally like this movie better than the original. Again, I think it's because I didn't watch it as a kid. The Zelda character in the original is probably scarier. However, like I said, that original just looks very dated. There's a lot of production value stuff that just doesn't hold up. In my opinion, like if you like it, that's my thing when I talk movies on this on the channel. If I don't like a movie that you like, and that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just we all go through different experiences in our life, so we like different things based on our own life experience. So if you like something, that's cool. Tell me why. I like talking that stuff. I can get why people like the original Pet Sematary. It does have a scary feel to it, but to me, when I watched it, I think like in mid 2010s, like somewhere in there. I watched it a few years ago, and it just doesn't hold up to me. But if you like it, that's awesome. It would be one I would actually recommend. I mean, it's not anything, you're not missing anything big, but it's a good Stephen King adaptation. It's a very good Stephen King adaptation. And Stephen King, man, just to talk about him. This year, and I'm probably gonna miss one, but you got Pet Sematary. You had It Chapter 2, which is also his. You got Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining, also his. I mean, Stephen King is prolific. I mean, the dude is just a beast at what he does. Just a beast. Great writer. And for anybody who doesn't know, he also wrote a lot of his better like film adaptations of his movies are non-horror, which is interesting because he's like the horror king, as no pun intended, writer. He did like Shawshank Redemption was like a short story he did, and that's like one of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. He did Stand By Me. Yeah, he's just a great writer. And so yeah, Pet Sematary. The remake. The third act in the movie is very rapid. The beginning is a little bit slow. It's a lot of explaining, a lot of exposition type stuff. But if you can hang through that, the ending picks up pretty quick. So you'll have a good time with this movie. It's an interesting one to watch. If you go to your Redbox or you want to stream it, this is a good one to go to. Let me get a little bit more cherry. That cherry coke is so good. Okay guys, we are nearing the end of October, and right now this is like the perfect weather for me for the end of October. A little rainy, nice dreary day. Might hang out with some friends today, watch some football, you know, enjoy the just dreary. This is perfect weather for the end of October. But guys, thank you very much for joining me today. Excuse me, for this delicious wing feast from Wings to Go, a local spot. So if you have a Wings to Go near you and you haven't tried it, I absolutely recommend them. They're a great underrated wing spot. And thank you for listening to my thoughts on the Pet Sematary remake, a movie I did enjoy. It's a good, solid little horror movie. Like I said, higher production value, good movie. I definitely recommend it. If you see it, sit down. It's a good little fun watch. But I will see you guys again tomorrow for another mukbang, another requested review. Again, we're nearing the end of October, so we got a few more left, and then we'll get to just back in some regular videos and then mix in some reviews as well. But guys, thank you again for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday and rest of your weekend. You take care and be easy.